Good day. My name is Chief Strongblood, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora, machismo. Yesterday, I dealt with the misappropriation of funds in the National Insurance Scheme by Ralph Gonsalves and his government, and the Director and Chairman, Lennox Bowman and Stewart Haynes. Those are the two big shots in the National Insurance Scheme. My people, the National Insurance Scheme was started in 1970 by Milton Cato. It was then called the National Providence Fund. In 1986, James Mitchell passed Act number 33 of 1986 to rename the National Providence Fund to the National Insurance Scheme and to offer more benefits. However, this was done previously by Milton Cato. The new benefits were already organized by Milton Cato. Now, the fact is, the National Insurance Scheme Act number 33 of 1986 gave the management of the National Insurance Scheme the authority to invest its members' money, ensure investment, to ensure that the monies that is contributed to the National Insurance Scheme grow and they will be able to satisfy the requirements as the law give them the requirements to provide a pension to its members, to provide sick leave, money, maternity leave, olive benefit, and so forth. But remember, although the law gives the National Insurance Scheme's management the authority to invest, an investment must have a possibility of a higher return than the money that you have invested. You must be able to make a profit. You may not always make a profit, but you must be able to make a profit. You have to remember, the National Insurance Scheme is not a lending institution, but the law gives the management the authority to invest. So Ralph Gonsalves may want to say that the loans that are given to the government is an investment. But the question we have to ask is, what are the terms of the loan that this non-lending institution is giving the government loans at? Remember yesterday I brought to your attention, and I believe many other people brought to your attention the fact that Ralph Gonsalves' government borrowed over $1 million from the National Insurance Scheme some years ago. They refused to honor the repayment of the loan. And when it was made public, they went and they borrowed another $1 million from the National Insurance Scheme to repay the first $1 million they borrowed. So that means the money that is given to the government by the National Insurance Scheme is not an investment. Because the fact that they would have borrowed another $1 million to repay the $1 million, that means there were no interest paid in on the loan. So the loan that was given to the government is not an investment. Remember, the money that is collected by the National Insurance Scheme is not the government's money. It is the employers and the workers who pays in to that fund. It is their monies. The government agency, which is the National Insurance Scheme, is only put in place to manage the money and to ensure that its members get the benefits they signed up for. The money does not belong to the government. It is the members' money. The profits from the investment does not belong to the director, the chairman, or the government. It is the members' profits. And the profits ought to go to the benefits of the members. So when they're sick, they get to go to the doctor and get medical treatment on behalf of the National Insurance Scheme. When they retire, they get a pension based on the money they paid in and the profits of the National Insurance Scheme. So when Chairman Bowman or Director Haynes, Stewart Haynes, give government money and there is no possibility of a profit from that money, it is not an investment. It is a violation of the law. It is a violation of the law under which they are given to work with. The law gave them the authority to invest. And if you are giving people money and there's no return on that money, no profit on that money, it is not an investment. So they are violating the law. So how can Lennox Bowman, in his capacity of chairman, and Stewart Haynes, in his capacity of director who oversees the day-to-day operation of the National Insurance Scheme, allow this to happen? How can they allow Ralph Gonsalves to encourage them to operate outside of the scope of the NIS? Vincentians, when you get old and cannot get a pension, you will be sorry that you didn't take action when you were younger, because it is now that you are young and have energy that you are to hold Ralph Gonsalves, Lennox Bowman, the director, the chairman, and Stewart Haynes, the director, accountable. It is now you are to get on Dr. Friday's case to at least file an injunction to stop the illegalities and the irregularities and the unlawful actions that has been taking place with the nation's people's money. Because when you are old and you can't get your pension, you will have no one else to blame but yourself. Ralph Gonsalves is making a mockery of all of the institutions in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The man is dishonest. He is incompetent. He is a fool. He don't know what he's doing. My people, something is terribly wrong with the manner in which things are happening with the people's money in the INS. A lot of corrupt actions are being taken place. If Ralph Gonsalves is heavy-handedly pressuring those people to give him money, it is corruption and it should be dealt with in the criminal court of law in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You don't have the authority to do it now because Ralph Gonsalves dishonestly manipulates the legal process in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He manipulates the police. He manipulates the judiciary. He manipulates the director of public prosecution. But sooner or later, they will have to be made to pay and give account for their illegal behaviors within government and within government office. And the mismanagement of the funds of the people, they have to be made to pay. You can't depend on Dr. Friday to do that. He is too weak and lazy. As soon as Dr. Friday became the leader of the opposition, the man displayed all of his lazy qualities. He refused to do the work of the people. Yet he's a millionaire. And he's drawing a salary every month from the people's purse. He being a millionaire several times over. He should refuse to accept a salary. In that ticket, and give it to the poor. No! He'll take it and he use it for himself. Because he's greedy and he's lazy. Dr. Friday is a lazy man. I, Chief Strongblood, had declared it. And there's no one who can prove otherwise. Ralph Gonsalves is a dishonest man. He is incompetent. He's a fool. He is an idiot. And there's no one in St. Vincent who can prove otherwise. All of the evidence are there to prove that these two men who leads the political directorate in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are lazy, greedy, and incompetent. Now, Ralph Gonsalves made Colin John Commissioner of Police. And we see Colin John is bodying up with the Police Welfare Association Credit Union. I know Colin John is a member of the credit union. I don't know if he's still a member. He was a member. I can bet anything. Ralph Gonsalves is getting monies from the police credit union to do government work. Colin John will manipulate them into giving him loans and getting them to keep quiet. Sooner or later, I am going to guarantee you this. Brendan Smith, listen to me carefully. Sooner or later, the police credit union is going to go bankrupt. Compliments of Ralph Gonsalves. Let me go to another institution. The bun pan. Ralph Gonsalves sent his crony, Venus John. Venus John, who was giving Ralph Gonsalves information about the activities of the government and was fired from her post when they make her post redundant because she was being dishonest and giving out confidential information to Ralph Gonsalves. Ralph Gonsalves sent Venus John to the bun pan, and I can bet Venus John, as a director at the bun pan, as a member of the board of directors at the bun pan, is also ensuring that Ralph Gonsalves get monies from the bun pan to do government's work. Because the man is incompetent. He is unable to grow the economy. The amount of taxes that is being received in St. Vincent and the Grenadines has cut in half since he took government. Since he took on the reign of government, the amount of taxes that is being received have been cut in half because people cannot afford to pay the taxes. There is less money going around for him to bribe people, for him to get people to write articles for him. So he's going to be using, listen, the Building and Loan Association was destroyed by Ralph Gonsalves. He take money from it and didn't pay back to do government work, cause it to go into bankruptcy. He bankrupted the National Commercial Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines on 2 occasions in 20 years. This man is totally incompetent. He is now borrowing from the National Insurance Scheme and he's not paying it back. Now the National Insurance Scheme is on its last leg. The director is saying, if we don't go and harass those people who cannot afford to pay National Insurance Scheme to pay, we are going to go into bankruptcy. That is what he's saying. And I am betting you any money. Ralph Gonsalves is getting money to do government work, to pay salaries from the police credit union and from the bun pan. My people. That is why he have his crony Venus John as a director at the bun pan. Venus John is a dishonest woman. She'll do anything for the comrade, even break the law, go against institution policy for the comrade. She cannot be trusted. I know her personally. We were friends. She was fired because she was caught giving confidential information from the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to Ralph Gonsalves when he was in opposition. So you can go about and have public meetings and try to impress the country. My name is Chief Strongblood. St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, N.I.S. Machismo. Talk to you soon.